This is Frankie Aberzino with the Scoop News. And this one, I got to say, be prepared to be outraged. To quote the anonymous that sent it to me, basically. We're going to flip over. And basically, this is a story. I'm going to play the video report from WFLA that was done back in, I believe it was 2016. Yeah, it was January of 2016, so a year ago. This has finally made it through the court process on Eugenio and Victoria Urquiga. The name's right here. They basically, if you don't recall, these are the individuals that their adopted child was found zip-tied. So I'm going to play this video, and then I'm going to go into the court findings, and that's where you're going to be outraged. So let's go ahead and listen to this video.
A Sarasota couple accused of punishing their daughter in a cruel and unusual way. Deputies tell us they tied up their 12-year-old special needs child with zip lines and ties, locked her away in a playhouse. News Channel 8's John Rogers joining us now live in Sarasota with this story. Hard to believe anyone would do something like this, John.
Keith, this is heartbreaking and shocking. We're told they use zip ties similar to this, and the parents would tie the girl on her wrists and on her ankles. Now, these things are pretty strong for an adult, let alone a small child. 2 days after Christmas, this girl escaped, running to a neighbor for help. Last week, Sean McIndoe opened his door and found a 12-year-old special needs girl begging for help.
And I noticed that her hands are tied together with a zip tie, and I was like, well, that's kind of weird.
The girl claimed her parents did that to her.
Yeah, it was 3 zip ties in total, 1 around each wrist, and then she had 1 in the middle connecting the 2. So, like, you couldn't put that on yourself.
Deputies later discovered her parents, Eugenio and Victoria Equiaga, would often discipline her by restraining her wrists and ankles with zip ties and then locking her inside a playhouse.
Not only was she secured in the room, but the outside was secured where it couldn't be opened.
So she was locked inside?
Yes. For hours at a time, yes.
Eugenio is a radiologist, and Victoria is a former practicing attorney. And officials say the pair justified their method of punishment.
They told us why they were doing it, showed us how they were doing it, showed us where they were doing it.
According to the affidavit, the parents left the zip ties on the girl at all times so she could quickly be punished when needed. The couple was charged with aggravated child abuse and today met in front of a judge.
I will agree that in the probable cause affidavit, the police report itself, yeah, when you read that on its face, it is troubling. Does it mean it's criminal? Does it mean it's all true? That's yet to be determined.
It's awful and unimaginable to have to know to be.
Okay, so that's basically enough of that report where you see the old story, and hopefully that refreshed your memory. Now we're going to bounce over to the court findings and what's come out of this, and that's where you're going to be prepared to be outraged. So let's go ahead and pop over to that right now. Right here. This is somebody sent this to me. As you can see, it's Victoria Urquiga. I still can't pronounce her name, and it's got the docket and everything. It's from the 12th Circuit Court, and it's basically the charge of child neglect. Okay, when was this dated? I did not check that. Well, it goes in, and this is what is amazing. The Florida is saying, look, we're going to go ahead and defer. Okay. They know it appears that, let me start over. What they're going to do is, with this investigation and the background, they find it's best interest of Florida that would be served is that they had a pretrial diversion program for 12 months. No jail time, nothing bad. We're going to put you in this pretrial diversion program. Basically, you got to pay us $30 a month, which these two, she's an ex-lawyer, he's probably an ex-radiologist now. They live in the Oaks. $30 a month is not that much. They can't change employment. They got to remain where they live. They can't carry a firearm. They can't get intoxicated. They got to try to remain, employed, and breathalyzers and all that stuff that comes with diversion courts. Okay, this just happened on 1/24, so just less than 2 weeks ago. You got to pay the cost of prosecution, $100, investigative cost of $1,000, and then $2 for some trust fee. Now, here's the special conditions, folks, which is amazing. Their little adopted daughter was Christina. Basically, they said, You will not seek to terminate your parental rights through the 18th birthday of your adopted daughter, Christina. So they want them to remain the parents, and they're going to be financially responsible for this young lady until her 18th birthday. They have to undergo psychological evaluation. That's a good thing. I'm on board there. They have to attend and complete 12 sessions of redirecting the children's behavior program. No overnight visits with Christina, which is a good thing, and no unsupervised contact with Christina. In other words, somebody else must be present. Your 6 other kids who reside with you will not have any unwanted contact with Christina. 6 kids. So I'm thinking if she's treating this adopted kid, Christina, that way, I'm wondering how she treated her kids, and I wonder if there's any difference there. They're going to continue counseling, and your 6 kids will reside with you. We'll also have Miss Zane, who's a family therapist, come by once a week to check on you. And that's basically it. So you got this, and there's the dates and everything. Everybody signed off on it. So essentially, you got these parents that adopted this poor young child. This child was found, and I didn't hear it say it in there, I believe she was found bound and naked when the kid came across her. They're locking her in a room. They kept her bound basically with these things so they could punish her better. And then locking her in a room, and there was a lot more detail. Let's go back to that page, because I thought that they weren't exactly feeding her that well, too. The neighbor found her zip tied. They kept her confined in the playhouse, and he knocked on the door. What else? The wooden floor was discolored. The girl said that that because she can't get out of the playhouse, she often forced herself to soil there. So I guess she had a soil there because she couldn't get out of the playhouse, and the floor was discolored from it. And they said that this was common practice just to tie her up at all times of the day. Investigators said the couple defended their actions, which we heard in the video. All the kids were taken into protective custody at the time of the suit, and it just goes into some other stuff. So if you want to see this, it's pretty easy. All I did was you could find all the past stuff and all the previous news articles that came out last January on this individual by just typing in ERQUIAGA Sarasota, and you'll see a ton of stories will come up on it. This document, though, you have to go to the 12th Circuit Court and Google it and search it. The case number is 2016-CF000-259-NC002. And a lot of people, including myself, are a little concerned, I guess, outraged with this. And sorry, I thought you were on the page just now when I was there. Such a light penalty. She's able to still keep her 6 kids. I'm assuming they're natural children. I don't know if they're adopted or what. They're still allowed to visit with this adopted kid. They can't have overnight visits. And you heard everything I covered there with you. So what are your thoughts? Are you outraged? I know Anonymous sent this to me was. I know I'm a bit concerned about it. What say you, Sarasota? This has been Francesco Albertino with The Scoop News.